Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new flashpoint in Parliament, and it is over the man we know as Baba Saheb Ambedkar, the father of the Indian Constitution. Now, anyone who has read history will let you know that Baba Saheb Ambedkar's radical politics in the 40s and the 50s had made him a rather controversial figure. 70-odd years later, he is once again in the middle of a major political battle. At a time when all political parties are jostling to claim Ambedkar's legacy and appropriate the rather substantial Dalit vote in India, question is, did India's Home Minister, Amit Shah, really insult the Dalit icon? Now, the opposition is insisting he has. In fact, they have launched major protests both outside Parliament and elsewhere. Outside Parliament, these protests were led by ex-Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. In West Bengal, the TMC has moved a privilege motion against Amit Shah. Mamata Banerjee, in fact, claiming that now the BJP's mask has actually fallen. The opposition, especially the Congress party, wants Amit Shah's apology and his resignation by midnight.
हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे अमित शाह राजीनामा देना चाहिए और मोदी जी को अगर थोड़ा सा भी बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर के बारे में श्रद्धा है तो रात के 12 बजे के अंदर वो निकाल देना चाहिए, उनको ड्रॉप कर देना चाहिए।
इन्होंने कहा, ये पहले ही कह रहे थे कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को हम चेंज करेंगे, ये इसके खिलाफ हैं, अंबेडकर जी के खिलाफ है, उनकी विचारधारा के खिलाफ है। इनका पूरा का पूरा काम अंबेडकर जी ने जो किया और जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसको खत्म करने का है।
ऐसे करोड़ों करोड़ों वंचित आज जिंदा हैं क्योंकि बाबा साहब अंबेडकर ने उस संविधान में उन्हें जीने का और रहने का अधिकार दिया। जिस तरह से उन्होंने अमित शाह जी ने बाबा साहब अंबेडकर का अपमान किया, करोड़ों लोगों की भावनाएं आहत हुई हैं। हम मांग करते हैं कि अमित शाह जी के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए।
Ladies, this kind of attack from the opposition is unprecedented. But what is also unprecedented is the way the BJP, led by the Prime Minister, has countered this attack on Amit Shah. The Prime Minister, in a series of tweets, 6 tweets, has accused the Congress of malicious lies. In fact, Amit Shah then himself stepped out to address a press conference just a while ago, insisting that the Congress is in a habit of twisting facts. And that is exactly what they are doing with his Ambedkar statement.
कल से कांग्रेस पार्टी ने फिर एक बार अपनी पुरानी पद्धति को आजमाते हुए बातों को तोड़ मरोड़ कर और सत्य को असत्य के कपड़े पहनाकर समाज में भ्रांति फैलाने का एक कुत्सित प्रयास किया है।
Okay, but the whole question is, and the whole point is, what exactly did Amit Shah say in Parliament? Now, since the BJP is accusing the Congress of using just a small clip of the Home Minister's speech and then taking it out of context, here is the full soundbite from the original feed of the Parliament. Listen in.
अभी एक फैशन होगा है अंबेडकर 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 अंबेडकर। इतना नाम अगर भगवान का लेते हैं तो 7 जन्मों तक स्वर्ग मिल जाता। तो अच्छी बात है ना। ना सुनिए तो, सुनिए ना, आप सुनिए ना, मैं बताता हूँ। हमें तो आनंद है कि अंबेडकर का नाम लेते हैं। अंबेडकर का नाम अभी 100 बार ज्यादा लो, परंतु साथ में अंबेडकर जी के प्रति आपका भाव क्या है ये मैं बताता हूं। मान्यवर, अंबेडकर जी को देश की पहली कैबिनेट से इस्तीफा क्यों दे दिया? अंबेडकर जी ने कई बार कहा कि अनुसूचित जातियों और जनजातियों से हुए व्यवहार से मैं असंतुष्ट हूं। सरकार की विदेश नीति से मैं असहमत हूं और आर्टिकल 370 से मैं असहमत हूं। इसलिए वो छोड़ना चाहते थे, उनको आश्वासन दिया गया, आश्वासन पूरा नहीं हुआ, उन्होंने इग्नोरेंस के चलते इस्तीफा दे दिया। और एक श्री BC रॉय ने पत्र लिखा कि अंबेडकर और राजा जी जैसे दो महानुभाव मंत्रिमंडल छोड़ेंगे तो क्या होगा। तो नेहरू जी ने उनको जवाब में लिखा है, राजा जी के जाने से तो थोड़ा बहुत नुकसान होगा, अंबेडकर के जाने से मंत्रिमंडल कमजोर नहीं होता है। मान्यवर ये विचार जो खड़गे जी कह रहे हैं ना, क्या आपत्ति है, जिसका विरोध करते हो उसका वोट के लिए नाम देना है, कितना उचित है। क्योंकि अब अंबेडकर जी को मानने वाले पर्याप्त संख्या में आ गए हैं, इसलिए आप अंबेडकर अंबेडकर कर रहे हो।
So the question, ladies and gentlemen, is simply this: has Ambedkar's legacy and has Baba Saheb Ambedkar himself been insulted? And if so, then by who? Well, the war of words is on between political parties. Let's see what our panelists say. JVC Sriram is a political commentator with us. Dr. Uday Nirgurkar, a senior journalist with us as well. Sujata Paul, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Good evening. Dr. Nishant Anand, national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. And Vaishnavi Manju Pal is from SOAS. She's also from the Ambedkar Society. In fact, she's the president there. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Thank you. And I just want to thank Vaishnavi first. She's joining us all the way from London. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Who should I start with? I'm a little confused about who I should start with this evening, but maybe it's a good idea to start with Sujata Paul. Sujata ji, the BJP has accused you of only putting out a small edited clip of Home Minister Amit Shah's speech and then circulating it and making it viral. So the interest of truth and honesty and transparency, we've played out the full clip for our viewers. Now please tell me what was objectionable in what the Home Minister is saying. Some of the facts that he cited are historically accurate. I mean, there are other facts he could have cited as well. But he has chosen not to do that because that was not convenient for his narrative. But the fact is that he cannot be accused of lying on the floor of the House because those historical facts are true. Where has he insulted Baba Saheb Ambedkar? Please help me understand that.
Shreya ji, good evening to you and your panelists and all your audiences. What he said was, अभी एक फैशन हो गया है अंबेडकर 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 बोलने का। इतना नाम अगर भगवान का लेते तो 7 जन्मों तक स्वर्ग मिल जाता। अरे, you are a leader of this country, you are a minister of this country, so you have sworn by the Constitution of India, which is Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar's Constitution, and you should be saying, अगर बाबा साहेब का नाम बार-बार मैंने लिया होता तो 7 जन्म मुझे भारत माता में मिलते। He didn't say that. He's saying that if you are taking God's name instead of Ambedkar, why does he have a problem with Baba Saheb Ambedkar? And I will tell you why. I have this book in front of me. This is the Bunch of Thoughts. And on page number 238 is written, and I quote, "Our constitution too is just a cumbersome and heterogeneous piecing together of various articles from various constitutions of Western countries. It has absolutely nothing which can be called our own. Is there a single word of reference in its guiding principles as to what our national mission is and the keynote in life is?" He goes on to criticize the Constitution of India. Now you tell me, are we going to accept that? No. But let me go back a little more and tell you the history of RSS and BJP. The fact is that in 1949, on 12th December, when the Hindu Code Bill was being brought about, at that time, the RSS went to the Ram Leela Maidan and they burnt effigies of Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. In 1949, on 30th November 1949, they wrote about the Indian Constitution and said that it is the worst thing in the Constitution is that there is nothing Indian about it. And it has been taken from Canada, British, America, Switzerland, etc. And Manusmriti is important to us. No, let me just finish, please. Let I won't take much time, Shreya ji. On 11 January 1950 also, in the organizer, they criticized Dr. Baba Saheb and called him a Lilliput. Can you imagine that? So, as far as the BJP is concerned, why should they have a problem if we recite Baba Saheb's name? If we keep saying Ambedkar, Ambedkar, every person in this country should say Ambedkar, 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 because he is the one who's given rights
अरे
to all
भाई
of us.
सुजाता जी, मैं तो आपसे यही पूछ रही हूँ, इंसल्ट कहाँ है? I am asking you, you know, there are historical facts that he has quoted which clearly illustrate that the Congress party, Jawaharlal Nehru, weren't exactly fond of Mr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. But the fact also is that as well, with Vallabhbhai Patel as well. So neither the left nor the right nor the center were extremely comfortable or had space for Ambedkar's ideology and his politics. That is way back in the 40s. I am coming to 2024. In the last month of 2024 and asking you, Sujata-di, once again, I understand the point you're making, but I'm asking you, aaj what Amit Shah has said, how is that an insult? Bas mujhe ye bata dijiye.
Shreya ji, this is what I'm saying. He said that instead of taking Baba Saheb's name, you should be taking God's name. God is personal to you and me. We will take God's name as many times as we want to. We are not going to advertise it like the BJP. But taking Baba Saheb's name, and if somebody is taking it, why should Mr. Amit Shah have a problem with that? That is an insult, because Baba Saheb is the one who has given rights to the Dalits. He is the one who's given rights to you and me as women, the right to vote, right from the time we got independence. So the fact is that when you want people to stop taking Baba Saheb's name, you are insulting him.
I don't think that is what he meant. I think you are twisting this. But anyhow, Dr. Uday, just come in here. What do you make of what is happening both inside and outside Parliament as far as Ambedkar and his legacy is concerned? Yesterday, when we were discussing Priyanka Gandhi and her Palestine bag and her Bangladesh bag, you said this is immaturity. That she is not just any parliamentarian, she's someone who represents something much bigger. In this case, in what Mr. Amit Shah had said on the floor of the House, do you think the Maryada has been crossed, that Lakshman Rekha has been crossed, and there is a certain immaturity that was at display?
Always remember, an injury is sooner forgotten than insult. Quoting somebody out of context, an edited version is not an insult, but it's an injury to Constitution. We have reduced Parliament. Last 3-4 days back, we are debating together. पहले दिन तो मुखौटे लेके आए थे, हमने उसको NSD बना था, National School of Drama. उसके बाद बगावत आ गई, हमने उसको दिल्ली हाट बना दिया था, और आज हमने धोबी घाट बना दिया है. It's unfortunate that glorious discussion of 75 years of democracy, which has spread all across India, apart from India, I would say, in any Southeast countries, is ending like this. The real issue is, who owns Baba Saheb Ambedkar? Is it BJP? Is it Congress? Is it SP? Is it BSP? Is it TMC? Is it AAP or any other party? I remember a book published in 1982, In Search of Excellence, by Tom Peters. I'm sure you would have read it. Today we are writing a book, In Search of Controversy, ताकि हमारे हर मिनट के 22 लाख ये उड़ा सके, और उड़ा के संविधान, कोई संविधान बदल का मामला लेता है, कोई अंबेडकर के इंसल्ट का मामला लेता है, and this all is nothing else but to avoid business. Please remember, I was checking the agenda. There were a lot of important bills to be discussed, but what happened? Nothing was discussed today. Now they will boycott the Parliament, and these bills would be passed without any debate. That's not what was Constitution made for. And I'm sorry.
But Dr. Uday, I asked you a question about whether there was a Lakshman Rekha that was crossed. There was a certain immaturity at display when Amit Shah made his point. He was making a point, I understand that. But was that point made in an immature fashion. He's the Home Minister of this country, after all. You accuse the Gandhi siblings of being immature. Has Amit Shah made the same mistake?
I will give you an example and then I will answer. Give me just a minute. कोई समंदर के किनारे खड़ा था, लहर आई, उसकी चप्पल चली गई, उसने लिखा समंदर चोर है. कोई समंदर के किनारे खड़ा था, लहर आई और एक शेल आया, उसको मोती मिल गया, उसने लिखा समंदर जनरस है. कोई समंदर के किनारे खड़ा था, लहर आई, मछलियां आई, उसने कहा समुद्र अन्नदाता है. कोई बूढ़ी औरत खड़ी थी, उसका बेटा बह गया, उसने कहा समंदर खूनी है. लहर आती है, लहर जाती है, वो किसी के कहने से नहीं आती. बाबा साहब अंबेडकर cannot be insulted and I don't think a remark like this has insulted बाबा साहब अंबेडकर at all. याद रखिए, एक दिन ऐसी दलितों की लहर आएगी जो सारे कंट्रोवर्सी करने वालों को समंदर में लेके अंदर कर देगी. That's the reality. Ambedkar is an ocean.
Dr. Nishant Anand,
don't play with it.
Dr. Nishant Anand, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, respond to that. That this is baat ka batangar. You're creating controversy because you have nothing better to do. And Dr. Nishant Anand, actually Dr. Uday is saying something that I too believe, that I don't think Ambedkar was insulted. I do not think he was insulted. But anyhow, that is what the opposition thinks. I want to ask you how you respond to the way the BJP, led by the Prime Minister, has defended Mr. Shah in Parliament.
Hi, good evening to everybody, first of all. See, I believe it is a very wrong statement given by our Honorable Home Minister, Amit Shah ji. And I will say a statement that jo bhi kare Ambedkar se pyar, wo kare BJP se inkar. The reason I'm saying this is, crores of people worship Ambedkar Saheb as a god. So a statement coming like this by an Honorable Home Minister, it is not correct. It has hurt a lot of people's feelings. And today, as I'm reading right now on the other news channel, see, we demand strict action against Amit Shah ji. And the reason is Baba Saheb Ambedkar is no less than God for crore of Dalits and the deprived section of the country. Crores of deprived people are alive today because of him. The way Amit Shah has disrespected the emotions of crores of people are hurt, I consider him, see, Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal ji, we all follow the footpaths of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. We have read it at our school. I have read his biographies. So a statement like this, it is not a correct statement, and we demand a strict action against Amit Shah ji. And we will also go to every corner in Delhi. Everybody, we will inform the kind of statement they are giving for minorities.
Okay.
The BJP has a government in more than 20 states. We can see what is the situation of minorities on those states. This is a one step ahead of तानाशाही, जो बीजेपी के लिए कहा जा रहा है कि वो तानाशाही की तरफ बढ़ रही है. A statement like this by such a senior leader is disrespectful. It has hurt crores of people. An apology should be given, and they should accept that they have done a mistake. If people consider him as a god, and he is saying
JVC Sriram, okay. The BJP is not accepting this is a mistake. They are saying you are twisting facts and taking them completely out of context. JVC Sriram, it's interesting. JVC Sriram, it's interesting the sort of politics we see play around. अरे मित्रों, मुझे तो बोलने दो, मेरा शो है, कोई मुझे ही नहीं बोलने देता मेरे शो में. JVC Sriram, good evening, good to have you on the show. My point is this, JVC Sriram, in the last 6 months, it's interesting to see the politics that has played around the constitution and that has played around Baba Saheb Ambedkar. You have Rahul Gandhi, who has gone along everywhere with holding a constitution in his hand, a copy of the constitution in his hand, saying the BJP wants to change the constitution. They want to cancel all reservations. On the other hand, you have the BJP saying, well, what Rahul Gandhi wants is to actually increase the limit of reservation, and increase the limit of reservation not so that the Dalits or the OBCs benefit, so that Muslims in this country benefit. So ye war of narrative to chal raha hai, I understand that. What everyone seems to be missing out in this fight over legacy is the fact that in the 40s, in the 50s, it is not just Jawaharlal Nehru or the left that was uncomfortable with B.R. Ambedkar, it was also the right. It was also the RSS. It was also Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who at one point had accused B.R. Ambedkar of nearly trying to partition the country when he had asked for a separate electorate for Dalits. My point is, back then, because of Baba Saheb's rather radical politics, most political fronts were not comfortable with him. I want to ask you, in that context, does the BJP have any legs to walk on when they say that the Congress is anti-Baba Saheb Ambedkar, they are anti-constitution?
See, certainly
because Nehru started
BJP. Certainly BJP has got every right to say what they are saying right now. Because you asked one question: who owns Baba Saheb Ambedkar? I think no political party in this country should be owning Baba Saheb Ambedkar. People of this country should be owning Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He is the people's property. He is not the property of any political party. Now, let us also understand that the Congress party, which is talking about constitution, save the constitution, it is talking about Ambedkar, it is holding the leader of the Congress party is holding the Red Book Constitution. Let us understand the first thing is that it was the Congress government which made Mr. Balasaheb Ambedkar uncomfortable and made him to resign from the cabinet. That was not the cabinet led by RSS or the BJP. It was led by the Congress party. Number two, it was Jawaharlal Nehru who campaigned against Balasaheb Ambedkar not once but twice and ensured that he gets defeated. And the second time he got defeated in such a manner where he came third and he had to take a political oblivion and political retirement. And then Balasaheb Ambedkar, portrait was not even installed in the parliament. While Jawaharlal Nehru gave himself the Bharat Ratna when he was alive, it took a VP Singh's government, which was supported by the BJP from outside, which was opposed by Congress party, which gave Bharat Ratna to Balasaheb Ambedkar. And it was BJP which actually talked about the beam and which, wherever Ambedkar lived, those places were glorified under Narendra Modi's regime. The Beam app was installed by BJP. No, just allow me to complete. And also understand that just before as the Lok Sabha election was happening, a fake video, a cropped video was circulated by Rahul Gandhi and in fact at the instance of Rahul Gandhi by the Telangana Congress party of Amit Shah talking about banning reservation, which was absolutely untrue. And now they have picked up. So here is a party which runs its factory based on fake narratives. They would say Mohabbat ka Dukan, but it is a Dukan of fake narratives. And when the fake narratives have been exposed in the last 1 week in the floor of the House, the Congress party is extremely frustrated and is doing what they're doing. And probably the other allies have come to their comfort at this point in time.
Okay, but JVC, speaking of fake narratives, and I'm not saying what you have said is factually incorrect. It is actually correct. But do remember, when Baba Saheb Ambedkar loses from the Constituent Assembly from the Bombay province, who was the man leading the campaign against him? Now, everyone's blaming Jawaharlal Nehru, but the man who led that campaign against Baba Saheb Ambedkar was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
But see, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is also a congressman.
Can I just quickly get in?
One second. Shreya, 1 second. I just want to
make but he's also a right-wing icon, na?
See,
yes, I agree with you, but he's also a right-wing icon.
We celebrate.
So my point is that back then it was not just Nehru, it was Gandhi and Patel who were also uncomfortable with Ambedkar and his politics. That is what I'm saying.
It was Baba Jagajeevan Ram's wife who had persuaded him and Baba Jagajeevan Ram who persuaded him to join the first cabinet. And he joined the cabinet. Even Ambedkar went and spoke to Baba Jagajeevan Ram. So if we go to history, we have to dig a lot of things. But in this debate, this is what is the point which I want to make.
Yes.
And even Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is part of Congress party.
So the point is that both sides only selectively quote history. The point I'm trying to make, Vaishnavi, here is, both sides only quote selective history that suits them. Vaishnavi, as someone sitting in, Sujata ji, 1 minute, let me get this young girl in. She's smiling, she's been very patient, let's get her in. Vaishnavi, as someone who is an Ambedkarite, and you're sitting all the way in London, please help me understand how you see this entire tamasha play out over Baba Saheb Ambedkar's legacy. Because ultimately, this is not about whether they believe in Ambedkar's ideals or not. It is essentially about claiming his legacy to to get the Dalit vote. All of us understand that. You understand that as well? How do you see this entire controversy?
As the academic and the Dalit in this room, I can answer my question in just 2 points. This is a symptom of a bigger problem that India has, and that is of being tone deaf. We love to marginalize our Dalits. We love to commodify them. But if you look at Mr. Shah's comment, he's saying it has become fashionable. And all we do is we say Ambedkar, Ambedkar, Ambedkar. But in my understanding, I feel now is the time when we are actually audible. If you look at a global scale, and I can speak from a university scene in UK and in America, we have organizations like Equality Lab. We have Brown University, which has a caste policy, in so as we tried to push for a caste policy which acknowledges caste discrimination in UK. So when he's saying it has become fashionable for activists and Ambedkarites like us, we don't take his name in vain. We take his name because this is the time when he has become part of the discourse. And I'm talking outside politics. He's part of the discourse now. And Indian politics has always shoved him on the margins, commodified him, but marginalized him at the same time. The second point, it's a case of Brahminical mentality. I mean, this man is saying that if they would say God's name multiple times, they would go to heaven. But last I checked, Dalits don't go to heaven. I mean, we have separate graveyards. We can take God's name as many times as we want, but we sometimes don't even get a spot in a graveyard. So it's a case of Brahminical mentality. He's looking at this from his upper caste positionality, where God gets you heaven and Ambedkar doesn't. But as an Ambedkarite, we are audible now, and it's not fashionable. It's a case of us being audible, and it's a case of us taking his name, not in vain, because at least he gets us our rights. Maybe taking God's name, I don't know. It doesn't get us a spot in graveyards. So those are my 2 cents, I guess.
As the Dalit in the room, and you're saying you are the Dalit in the room, and yes, you are. As the Dalit in the room, you've heard what Mr. Amit Shah said on the floor of the House. Hopefully you've heard the entire thing, because I don't want to be accused of taking things out of context. Do you feel Baba Saheb was insulted with that comment? I just want you to be clear here.
I think he was, in the sense that he said it has become fashionable to take his name. So even if he wasn't shaming Ambedkar, he was shaming Ambedkarites or people who take his name. And as someone who takes his name, I think that's insulting. But then that's, again, my opinion.
Dr. Uday? No, it's a valid opinion. Dr. Uday, would you want to respond to that before I go to Sujata ji?
I don't think Ambedkar or Ambedkarite should feel insulted in any manner. What has happened is that, please understand, Nehru, Ambedkar, Savarkar, icons, they three have different ideologies. They may have differences. They may have fought against each other. Does that make anyone small, you tell me? Can somebody belittle Nehru? Can somebody belittle Savarkar? Just because Ambedkar and Congress fought against each other, that does not mean that Ambedkar did not contribute in nation making.
Every second day, the BJP is belittling Nehru and blaming all our ills on the man.
So also Congress is belittling Savarkar. That does not make them small.
It does tarnish their legacy. And if you say something multiple times, it becomes truth. It goes down in history. If I say something again and again, I mean, again, comparing Savarkar to Ambedkar is a different conversation altogether. But it does tarnish someone's legacy.
Congress was,
and this is happening in the House of Parliament.
Congress defeated Ambedkar in Mumbai, and the constituency was Dadar. And this is where in Chaitya Bhumi on 6th of December, you get millions of people, those who are followers.
Vallabhbhai Patel, the right-wing icon, was the man who led that. Led that campaign.
He was following.
RSS too had problems with B.R. Ambedkar.
He had died.
Yes, Sujata
died
Paul.
by that time.
Yes, you know, Ashok Gopalji's
let Sujata Paul
biography. Yes, Ashok Gopalji's biography of Dr. Ambedkar was released a few months back. And you know what? He has quoted a letter of Dr. Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. And when when our young panelist was talking, believe me, Shreya ji, I was getting goose pimples, and I'm sure I saw the expression on your face change as well, because this is what he has given us. But on facts, on page 794, footnote 50, Ashok Gopalji has quoted a letter of January 18, 1952 to Kamala Khan Chitre, in which Dr. Ambedkar himself has written that the plot to defeat him in the first Lok Sabha elections from Bombay North Reserved seat was hatched by Dhoundial and Savarkar, who was inflamed by his proposal for the partition of Kashmir. Dhoundial, of course, was a communist leader.
Okay. Here's very quickly, answer my question very quickly. Fine, you may feel that the Home Minister of the country has insulted Ambedkar and his legacy. But isn't it a bit of a stretch and an overreaction to ask for his resignation by midnight? What will that resignation achieve, ma'am?
Shreya ji, one thing is very, very clear, that for all of us, Baba Saheb is revered, respected, and he is the most respected in this country, because he, like I said earlier, not just the Dalits, but he has given you and me the right to vote, to be human beings. Otherwise, you know what the Manusmriti would have done to you and me. And therefore, anybody who insults Baba Saheb must go. He cannot remain in the ministry of the government of India at all.
Okay. I'm out of time. Vaishnavi, but I want to end this with you. I can give you 20 seconds. Anything you want to say to our politicians back home in India? Both the BJP and the Congress.
I mean, the biggest thing I can tell to our politicians is if Brown University can create a caste policy and talk about casteism on campuses, you don't even have to turn to page number 5 of a newspaper. There's so much casteism happening on college campuses. A lot of that is happening in workplaces. I think we need to look at it from a policy level. Baba Saheb, before everything, was a lawmaker. He believed in policy. He believed in reform. So, we need to look at it from a policy level. I personally don't see a point in rhetoric. Whatever Amit Shah can say, yes, he has not defamed his legacy, but as a country, we need to look at it from a policy level. Those are my 2 cents, yeah.
Okay, go beyond the rhetoric. You're saying go beyond the rhetoric of who insulted or didn't insult Baba Saheb Ambedkar, and actually look at the problems that Dalits in this country are facing. That will do us some good, not all this tamasha and drama and rhetoric. I think we'll leave it there. I agree with you 100%, Vaishnavi. Thank you for being the voice of reason on the show this evening. Vaishnavi, thank you very much. Dr. Nishant, thank you very much. Sujata ji, thank you. Dr. Uday, you are also the voice of reason. Don't feel upset. Thank you very much. And JVC Sriram, thank you very much for joining us as well on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, slipping into a quick break on the show. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.